right, let's learn about some lunar features. Astronomy lesson 3.2. All right, so let's start with the inside. Cut right to the core. So there's three major divisions. We have the crust, the mantle, and the core. Moon's surface. Let's see here. Pick this. All right, so you can see the picture a little bit. The moon has no atmosphere, so no breathing on the moon. There's no liquid water, and we have some extreme temperatures. So in the daytime, it can get to a sweltering 265 degrees Fahrenheit, and at night, a very cold, chilly, brisk negative 310 degrees Fahrenheit. And the moon is roughly 1/6 that of Earth's gravity. So in other words, the acceleration of gravity on the moon is less. That's why when you look at videos of people on the moon, it looks like they are kind of floating, in their jumps. That's because the acceleration of gravity there is less. All right, here we have some pictures. So it's a lunar map with all the craters and mare labeled. This is the far side of the moon, and we'll talk about the difference between the two in a little bit. But for right now, let's look at some sweet moon apps. So, Moon Globe for iPhone users is free. I use it. It's awesome. You can zoom in, zoom out. For Android, I couldn't find any that was free. I found one that was $1. So I'm not an Android user, so I'm sorry. I can't do more for you other than Google moon apps. If you come across one though, by all means, let me know and I'll update my slide here. All right, so let's talk about some features. We have highlands and lowlands. So mountains, these make up our highlands. We have these trench-like valleys called rills. What else do we have? We have craters, big craters. Craters are fun. These are from meteor impacts, and some are even formed when the moon was geologically active as calderas in volcanic activity. Ooh, fun. Other features, we have something called a ray system. So if you can picture this, you are standing on the beach and you're reading a book, or you're not standing, maybe you're sitting, I don't know, and there's some people playing volleyball, and out of nowhere this volleyball comes crashing right next to you and it sprays you with sand and leaves a deep impact where the volleyball landed. That splashing, that spraying of sand, those are rays, and they go out radially from the center of the crater, and you'll hopefully be seeing some of that in our crater demonstration lab. But you can see it here on the moon when we look over here at Kepler, Copernicus, and my personal favorite, Tycho. You can see these ray systems kind of going out in these spheres, and I can actually move my drawing on here so that you can see them. So see, there's a crater in between, and these rays are going out around it. There's Kepler, and of course, Tycho. I like Tycho. All right. What else we got? So Maria. So these are the original seas. These are formed from ancient lava flows. So they're not actually seas. There's no water again on the moon. These are ancient lava flows, and they appear darker on the moon's surface. And it's mostly made up of basaltic type rock. Geology people might recognize that term, or if you remember me from earth science talking about basalt. All right, so here we have a nice map that kind of depicts a couple things, gives a couple of our Mare names, Mare Tranquillitatis, and it gives the English version. Most of them are in Latin, so we have the Sea of Clouds, Sea of Vapors, Sea of Nectar, Sea of Moisture, Ocean of Storms, Sea of Showers, Sea of Cold, all that fun stuff can be identified on the moon. All right, far side of the moon. Let me zoom out of these here. far side of the moon. We first were able to get our first glimpse at the far side of the moon in 1959, thanks to Luna 3 and the USSR. Uh, and we discovered that the features on the far side of the moon are much different than that of the near side of the moon. There's more craters, there's very few Mare, and the crust is thicker. Interesting. So here are the faces of the moon. The near side on the left, far side on the right. And you can see that there's not as much of the Mare systems. We have lots of craters, though. Big impacts there. And we'll talk more about why it's called the far side and not the dark side later when we talk about the motions of the moon. But just so you know, it is called the far side and not the dark side of the moon. All right. Thank you very much, and I will see you next lesson.